this player, whoever we suggest for this, should be damn well honoured that centre half bench and Aussie FIFA are talking about him. But who should captain the Richmond Football Club in 2022?
Well, today I've seen a lot of different opinions, and it seems like the public isn't really on board with this from like comments that I've seen online. But really, Jack Graham has been. He just looks set to become the captain.
Mm-hmm.
He's been molded into like the perfect player that should be leading this club forward. And I mean, if Grimes or Rewalt take the captaincy for a year or two, I really think it should just end up with Graham. And I mean, you can just start now. Koch got the captaincy when he was very young. Graham's older than that. He's like been in this successful side. He's seen what leadership looks like. And yeah, I think he should be set to be captain.
Yeah. And you know what's the thing too? Why I'm 95% sure it will be Jack Graham is for some reason Caroline Wilson recently has seemed to like know what is happening inside every club. I don't know how she's doing it.
She's getting everything right.
Yeah,
she's been crazy.
Everything right. And she's been saying that apparently in her words, like this is such a Caroline Wilson thing to say, but Richmond adore Jack Graham. So it's just like, it's happening. They're making him captain.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll be extremely happy when it happens. I don't want co-captains. That's what I don't want. I don't like co-captains. I like vice-captains. I like leadership groups. And he'll have a lot of support there. And I mean, Cochin in his last year or two, I mean, he'll have so much support to be a great leader, especially next year when Rewalt and Koch and all that are still at the club.
And I've seen some people were saying like, oh, they shouldn't make Graham captain because he won't be ready for the captain's meetings. Like, what a weird thing to say. Like, the hell is like, do you think this bloke's never been to a meeting before? Like, my mate, he sits in meetings every morning at the club. It's not going to be too much different. He's just going to be leading the greatest football club of all time.
And like, I've seen so many people say Dusty should be captain.
My mum said Damien Barrett said that. So that's my source saying my mum is my source. Apparently Barrett said that.
I watched AFL 360 tonight, and Tony Sheehan was extremely like upfront about Dusty should be captain, best player for your team should be captain. I mean, I don't agree with that at all. Dusty is an underrated leader, I think. 100%. People don't realise how much of a leader he is around the club. And, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him as captain. I mean, I just don't know if he needs that pressure in the last few years of his career when it's not going to be a long-term thing.
You know what's the most random one I've heard, though? Like, and I've heard multiple people say it. Dude, why are people saying Jaden Short? Can we just, like...
Yeah, I heard him on radio a few months ago now on SEN, and they were asking him about his thoughts on taking up a leadership role at the club, and he said like he wasn't expecting it at all, and just he'd be interested obviously, and he'd want to, but I mean it didn't sound like it made sense for him at that time, and it doesn't make sense to us either.
He doesn't look like the captain type. Like I don't even know if he looks like the vice captain type. Like. I love Jaden Short. I think he's so funny, but if you watch him in interviews and stuff, like, just the funniest bloke. Can you imagine that bloke just being, like, going to, like, captain interviews? It wouldn't look right.
Exactly, and you can see Jack Graham in that role, like, and being professional with the media, all this, he's been groomed for the role.
And it's beautiful, too. When have you last seen someone with that country charm that he has, like... you probably won't see it much, and I just think it's a match made in heaven. How is he not going to be the captain? I just can't see it not happening. And it's not like players haven't flourished under being the captain. Jack still got 2 times better being made as a captain, and people forget that Jackie Graham averaged 20 disposals a game and nearly a goal every second game. Playing as practically a half forward this year, and he's second in the best and fairest. He's going to get like 75%. Plus midfield time, at least I'm hoping next season. He's in for a breakout year, whether he's captain or not.
Yeah, he's really one of the most, like, under the radar, amazing players in the competition. His goal kicking on the run, I mean, really, if he got more midfield time, because he's putting up all these numbers and having these amazing, consistent performances every week without getting that midfield time. So, I mean, as our older players move out of the club, we're hoping he'll move into the midfield there and he'll just flourish.
Where does Cochrane play next year? What do you think? Because there's no way he plays like after what we saw last season. I'd be like very disappointed to see him back in that midfield consistently.
Yeah, I mean it's tough because I really, really love Cochrane, and a few years ago, it's kind of stopped in recent years. We'd see him rest forward, and he just doesn't seem like that dangerous type of player. I mean, around the goals, he'll obviously be fantastic to have at the club next year, but I don't know. Half back is like all you can really think of. The wing, like. Because he can't go in the middle, he's probably not suited to go forward, and obviously he can't play man-on-man in defence. So it's a very tough one, but I'm very glad he's going around for at least one more year.
He doesn't have the leg strength either to kick out, I don't think. Like, not at all. I think this dude, I think he will play half back, but I also like, I think now that the captaincy's being taken off him, I don't think Hardwick feels pressured to drop him if he had, a couple of the games he had this year. Like, he had 3 games in a row where he averaged like 12 disposals a game. Like, that is extremely bad.
And a good team, well, GWS are a good team, but a team doesn't drop their captain.
Exactly.
So you couldn't have possibly dropped Cochrane. And I mean, that just doesn't help all the media speculation that was around him this year at all. I mean, people were going at him like for being washed up, which I mean, he half is. He had a few great games in the midfield, but yeah, I mean, you can't drop your captain. You can't not back them in. And Dimmer, all he's done for all of this year is just back in the players over and over again. So he'd never do that to the captain. So he won't feel pressured to play him next year, especially if he has a few down games. But that's only a good thing.
Yeah, he was too important last year. Well, this year, at the time of making this, he was too important last season, I would say, to drop. Like, just because he was putting up 12 disposals a game, his leadership was insane. But, like, now I think that he won't be captain. There really won't be too much, bringing him to be in the team anymore. I just hope he can perform. Like, I'd still like to see him get a game, but I don't think he should be getting a game consistently over someone in the twos or maybe someone we draft this year that could come in and average like 18 disposals a game and be a pivotal, part in the midfield. But, the other thing I want to ask too,
develop them.
Yeah, and develop them. What about the vice captains on leadership group? I'm assuming they'll go with the 2 vices again. Does Rewalt stay as the vice? Do they just give it to 2 players?
I imagine Jack will definitely stay as the vice for his last year. He's said on 360 last night that he's just ready to be a leader whenever the club needs him to. Everyone's comfortable with him going out there as captain. But, I mean, it doesn't really make sense to make him captain for his last year of footy. Yeah. Certainly wouldn't be opposed to it. But, he'll definitely stay as a vice captain. Yeah.
Like, that's Hawthorn did that and it didn't work. Like, it didn't make much sense for them at all. Like, they had games where they looked like they were about to drop Roughhead. And I remember, like, hearing Caroline super critical of Hawthorn. Like, it was a mistake to ever give him, keep him on as the captain because it just didn't seem like he ended up going to the VFL anyway. And Jared Roughhead was so great for the Hawthorn Football Club for so long that it almost seemed terrible that there was rumors he was going to get dropped, but he wasn't playing good.
No, but I mean, I'm just thankful that we got that last game from Ruffy, bro.
Yeah.
That was just unreal. That was beautiful.
He's a goat. That's why I just hate that he had to go through all that crap when he probably shouldn't have been captain. I did not like that. And that's the same thing that could happen with Revolt. Like, he could not be that good next season at all.
But I liked his year this year, but now Chol's gone and Coleman Jones is gone.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to draft some forwards. I don't want to see Bolter down forward whatsoever, even though we're getting Talia. So Jack will definitely be playing whenever he's fit and healthy next year. And I mean, I'm happy with that, but hopefully he just has a pretty consistent year.